Walking papers, wellness planning from the margins. This video contains frank discussions of oppression as it relates to mental health. Viewer discretion advised. My name is Dominic Bradley. I am one of the Manhattan LGBT Center's inaugural 2021 RiseOut Activist in Residence Fellows, and I'm creating mental health resources for BIPOC LGBT+ folks with a project entitled Goodbye to Old Lives, a Mood. This video, which I call Walking Papers, Wellness Planning from the Margins, is a demo on developing a one-page wellness plan using visual note-taking strategies that accounts for the impact of oppression on our mental health. I intend this video to benefit anyone in emotional distress, regardless of whether or not they have an official diagnosis. Why this? Why now? The pandemic has caused some people to see our society's shortcomings more clearly. As a result, there's been a renewed interest in the importance of mental health. Many have called for increased access to mental health treatment. I can say with certainty, as someone with a social work background and who has been in a long-term therapeutic relationship, sometimes therapeutic interventions are not effective because professionals are mistaking systemic issues for personal ones. I wanted to offer this tool to my community members who I know have been hit hard by recent events. I will be using my own experiences as an example. Materials needed: unlined white paper and the writing utensil of your choice. Your paper should not be too big or too small. I recommend purchasing at least an 8.5 by 11 inch sketchbook, just in case you need more than one attempt to get your walking papers in order. It also might be helpful to have the extra paper if you decide to add or delete information from your wellness plan later. You likely can purchase a sketchbook online or at an art or office supply store. I'm using 11 by 14 mixed media paper from Canson. Use pencil, pen, marker, whatever is accessible and comfortable. We will be combining words and images in this wellness plan. Remember, you don't have to be the best writer or the best artist. Short phrases and stick figures are absolutely fine. This is about uncovering your own language to describe what is happening to you and having a quick reference when talking to your supporters. Divide your paper into 4 equal sections. What forms of oppression do I experience? When I thought about the forms of oppression that impact me the most, anti-Blackness, ableism, fatmisia, misogynoir, and transmisia came to mind. I use fatmisia and transmisia rather than fat phobia and transphobia because I face not fear, but hatred of fat folks and trans folks. So let's take these one at a time. Ableism. I live with invisible disabilities, and often people don't believe me when I try to talk about my experiences of disability. Anti-Blackness, you see here an outline of Jim Crow beside the phrase, "This is America." Not only have I experienced anti-Blackness in my personal life, but I also grew up hearing stories from my maternal grandparents who were brought up and came of age in the Jim Crow South. Fatmisia, here you see a measuring tape, and instead of numbers, the words "unworthy," as we are often made to feel by our thinner counterparts once we've reached a certain size. Misogynoir is a form of oppression that is both gendered and raced. Often there are stereotypes that are put forth, such as being angry, being sassy, resilient, and strong. Transmisia, I identify as non-binary, and I live in a world that often wants me to choose between being a male or a female. How does oppression affect my emotional state? It makes me feel hurt, ashamed, angry, isolated, and overwhelmed. So let's take these one at a time. I feel hurt, and sometimes it is an emotional pain, and sometimes the oppression that I face does harm to my physical body. I feel ashamed. I have this here with the little figure and the length of the line behind the figure to show how small the figure really is when taken in scale. It makes me feel small, and I'm not able to stand in the fullness of myself in those moments. I feel angry. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You have the growing flame underneath there. I feel isolated. While I was making this plan and considering this section of the plan, all I could think is 1 is the loneliest number, and so that's what I wrote down. And then lastly, I feel overwhelmed. And when I feel overwhelmed, it's like I've been buried under a mound of stuff and I can't get out. And so you see just that one hand reaching out from the pile and the one word, help. The feeling wheel is a resource I've used to help me identify my feelings with accuracy. Try to avoid being too wordy. Consider what someone once said to me. Feelings are one word. If you use more than one word, you are no longer telling people how you feel. You are telling them what you think. Stop right here. Put this away for now and return to it in 24 hours. It's more important to go deep than to go fast. Pace yourself. I hope you were able to do some self-care in your time away. Let's dive back in. How do I push back? I'm going to talk about pushing back on 3 levels: institutionalized, interpersonal, and internalized. I push back on institutionalized oppression by making media. I push back on interpersonal oppression through advocacy and sometimes calling out bad behavior. I push back on internalized oppression by educating myself and celebrating myself. For more information on how I approached completing this section, check out these resources. Who or what can I enlist to help? Try to be as specific as possible. So here I have creative collaborators, community partners, Beyonce's Internet, disability justice consultants, and hype men. For me, having creative collaborators like Black Trans Media, Beyonce's Internet, aka Google, that I use frequently when I need to research something and find out a little bit more information. Disability justice consultants who can help you call out people and institutions that aren't doing right. and the one that I am working with has encouraged me to think of the labor that I have provided in a particular situation as having monetary value. Then there are community partners like the center who is funding this project, and hype men. So like the fellow Virgo that I go to when I want to brag about how much I've gotten done in a day and to have someone tell me good job. Congratulations. You now have everything you need for your plan. Plans can change. Feel free to revisit your plan anytime. Thank you for taking this journey with me.